Item: SCP-1495. Code name: Karmic Musth. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Under normal conditions, SCP-1495 is to be cared for and fed in keeping with the Foundation's zoological containment standards for large terrestrial mammals at a purpose-built enclosure on site. Anyone assigned to handling SCP-1495-2-15 is permitted to use their informal names for the sake of simplified communication. No guard dogs or other domesticated animals are allowed on the enclosure. With the exception of small rodents, any local mammalian fauna discovered in the enclosure is to be removed or terminated upon discovery. Unless they are to be utilized for approved testing, D-Class personnel assigned to interacting with SCP-1495 must not be known or assumed violent felons. D-Class personnel used in SCP-1495-M1 testing are not subject to this criteria. However, their background must be documented prior to testing. Members of the herd SCP-1495 are free to roam the enclosure. If additional female specimens of SCP-1495 are discovered in the wild, they are to be captured and may be incorporated into the herd at site. Should a male be discovered in the wild, it is to be recorded and studied but terminated no later than the 15th of August of that year to prevent an uncontained instance of SCP-1495-M. If a male is discovered during an SCP-1495-M event, it is to be terminated immediately. Prior to an SCP-1495-M event, males are to be fitted with cranial shunts with reservoirs for collection of SCP-1495-M1. The entire enclosure is to be checked to make sure no local fauna have entered the containment area. During an SCP-1495-M event, SCP-1495-2, SCP-1495-3, and SCP-1495-4 are to be kept chained in 3 standalone climate-controlled steel cages at the far end of the enclosure. These cages are surrounded a 5-meter-high wall made of 1.5 meters thick reinforced concrete. SCP-1495-2, SCP-1495-3, and SCP-1495-4 are to be placed in separate stalls at all times during 1495-M. No food or water, or drugs will be provided to SCP-1495-2, SCP-1495-3, and SCP-1495-4 while in this type of confinement to help shorten 1495-M. Description: SCP-1495 is a herd of a previously unknown species of elephant similar in appearance to Loxodonta africana. The herd consists of 3 males, SCP-1495, 2, 3, and 4, and currently 8 females, SCP-1495, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, and 15. All subjects are observed to be of extremely high intelligence, with craniums roughly 10% larger than Loxodonta africana. They are generally obedient with their handlers. Subjects respond to human speech. Older subjects understand over 1,000 English words. Efforts are underway to achieve meaningful communication with SCP-1495. Females. For the most part, the female subjects are physiologically identical to Loxodonta africana, save for their larger cranium, heightened intelligence, and longer average lifespan, believed to be 75-85 years. Recent testing has shown females have a greater capacity to communicate with their handlers. See Addendum 1495A4. Males, generally, Males are also virtually identical to Loxodonta africana, yet there are a few other notable distinctions. Upon reaching sexual maturity, male SCP-1495 become particularly resilient, healing from injury at accelerated levels. At this point, they also seem to stop aging. Researchers have been unable to estimate ages for the 3 males. Most notably, males have been observed to direct the behavior of other mammals, seemingly willing animals to work cooperatively or coordinate attacks. See Addenda. SCP-1495-M. Once a year, usually in mid-autumn, males experience SCP-1495-M, a state similar to the period of hormonal abnormalities experienced by male elephants known as musth. Like normal musth, SCP-1495-M is accompanied by highly aggressive behavior and a thick, tar-like temporal secretion called temporin. Temporin excreted by SCP-1495 is documented as SCP-1495-M1. Males are to be isolated because the scent of SCP-1495-M1 has a compounding aggression effect on most animals that can last several hours after they are removed from the vicinity of the SCP-1495-M event. Chemical analysis tests. Testing conducted by Dr. Ladd found that SCP-1495-M1 induces aggressive behavior in several orders of mammal, though tests have shown no effect on primates. To humans, SCP-1495-M1 has a pleasant scent that appears to be hypoallergenic. When SCP-1495-M1 was injected in D-class personnel, it appeared to rapidly cure ailments, but most D-class ultimately experienced heart failure and expired after about 2 hours. The lone exception in testing was D190777, who remains under Foundation observation. See Addendum 1495-A3. SCP-1495-M1 contains compounds similar to certain unknown chemicals found in SCP-500. Further testing on these substances is pending approval. Note by Dr. Ladd: when xylazine was used in an attempt to lessen the effect of SCP-1495-M, SCP-1495-M1 excretions lacked these qualities, but effects on other mammals remained unchanged. Addendum 1495-A1. Timeline on recovery and initial containment breach. The 29th of October, 1979. Redacted. The coordinates indicated a location in Singalila National Park, India. Foundation personnel immediately dispatched from Bombay. The 1st of November, 1979. Foundation Scout Unit arrives in Darjeeling, West Bengal Province. Base camp is set up. Local guides and appropriate gear acquired. The 2nd of November, 1979. Foundation personnel set off on foot in a heavy snowstorm. 2 local Sherpas accompany the team. 3 November, 1979. Upon reaching the coordinates, the team was surprised to discover a small herd of African elephants, 4 male, 6 female. 1. Specialized observation team requested for further evaluation. 9 November, 1979. Observation team arrives. All 10 elephants are tagged. The 14th of November, 1979. Subjects noted to be of superior intelligence. Unusual interaction with other species noted. 06 Dec. 1979. Though the herd displays no outwardly anomalous traits, their high intelligence, unusual habitat, and the nature of their discovery led the observation team to request containment of the entire herd. The 14th of December, 1979. Herd airlifted to site and classified as anomalous cryptid. The 14th of March, 1980. Construction purpose-built zoological enclosure completed. Herd transferred from temporary containment. 09 Jul. 1980. First documented incidents of males interacting directly with local fauna. The 14th of September, 1980. Early signs of musth prompt handlers to chain all 4 males to mature trees within the enclosure. The 15th of September, 1980. Musth conditions worsen. Xylazine administered by handlers to attempt to lessen the effects of the musth. The 17th of September, 1980. Unusual gatherings of Odocoileus virgininus, white-tailed deer, noted in the tree line near where the males are chained. No count was taken, but it is estimated that between 75 and 150 deer had gathered. The 18th of September, 1980. All 4 males broke out of their ligatures, breached the enclosure, and began attacking automobiles parked on site. While security teams were scrambled to contain the breach, scores of white-tailed deer stormed the D-Class barracks, killing 107 of the 120 D-Class personnel inside. Agent Gareth Marlowe was also killed in the attack. Note: it was later determined noteworthy that Agent Marlowe had been under investigation by the Ethics Committee for conduct unbecoming of a Foundation agent. The 19th of September, 1980. Heavy sedation was used to secure the males. The oldest male, known as Ganesh by the handlers, died of heart failure after taking 8 times the normal dose of tranquilizers normally required to sedate an adult male elephant. The 21st of September, 1980. Dr. Ladd suggests that not only was there a connection between the elephants and the deer attack, but that the elephants coordinated the containment breach to help facilitate the attack. Dr. Ladd requests the entire herd be reclassified as a Euclid class SCP. Addendum 1495A2. Notes on attacks in and around Darjeeling. SCP-1495 was discovered independently by the Foundation in 1979. See Addendum 1495A1. It is noteworthy that the species most closely resembles the African elephant, but they were discovered in eastern India, thousands of miles from the historical range of Loxodonta africana. After full containment, the Foundation conducted an investigation of unusual events in the Darjeeling district of West Bengal Province, India, and surrounding areas. Reports of unusual early autumn animal attacks began in 1972 and occurred every year until containment in November 1979. Each of the attacks occurred during what researchers have generally accepted to be times of year consistent with SCP-1495-M. Packs of local fauna, sometimes multiple species, would attack and kill people in Darjeeling, Sikkim, and eastern Nepal. Generally, victims were attacked in and around their homes. In virtually every case it appears that the animals targeted a specific individual or individuals while ignoring or passing over other individuals nearby. Attacks varied by species and location, but in most attacks it appears that the animals attacked joint tendons first to incapacitate the victim in order to lengthen the amount of time the victim was alive during the attack. No discernible pattern was detected among the victims until the Foundation learned of a particularly large attack in 1978 at a Darjeeling prison, in which 18 inmates and 1 guard were killed by packs of leopard cats and red pandas. All deceased inmates were either convicted murderers or rapists, and the deceased guard had been known for sexual abuse against inmates. Imprisoned political dissidents and beggars were not attacked. Addendum 1495A3. The case of D-190777. During initial testing of SCP-1495-M1, 10 D-class subjects have been injected intravenously with the substance. In each case, subjects reported increased energy and feelings of overall improved health. But 9 test subjects expired from heart failure within 120 minutes of receiving the treatment. The lone exception was the D-190777, The 8th test subject. At the time of the testing, D190777 had been experiencing symptoms of bronchitis. Once injected with SCP-1495-M1, symptoms rapidly began to dissipate. 6 hours after observation, D190777 showed no signs of circulatory distress and was determined to have survived the trial. After 2 more test subjects expired in the same manner as the first 7, D190777 was brought out of observation for an interview. Interviewed, D190777. Interviewer, Agent D. C. Joachim. Forward, excerpts from log starting 4:33 minutes into interview. Begin excerpts. Agent Joachim, thank you. Now state for the record the charges that ultimately led to your death sentence in the state of D190777, double homicide. But I'm telling you I didn't do it. I loved my wife and my son. Agent Joachim, you appealed your conviction 3 times and failed. D190777, fuck. Fuck their racist ass lawyers and their racist ass judges. I volunteered to take a polygraph and it never happened. I volunteered during each appeal. The people that killed my family are still out there. D190777, the bullets they took out of my wife and son were lost in evidence. They never found my slugs. I was shooting toward the field. I doubt they ever even looked. End excerpts. Agent Joachim recommends that we be open to the possibility that D190777 was wrongfully convicted by the state of and has never committed a murder. This combined with the targeted animal attacks in India in 1979. See Addendum A2 has led to the hypothesis that SCP-1495-M1 and animals affected by SCP-1495-M1 react with chemicals in the human brain associated with guilt. Prior to further testing, however, that hypothesis was disproved upon review of 2 previous D-class test subjects who expired after receiving doses of SCP-1495-M1. Though also convicted murderers, both of these subjects exhibited sociopathic personality traits, and were therefore physiologically incapable of experiencing guilt or shame. An 11th test was done on a D-class who had been sentenced to death for murder, but he had received Class A long-term memory amnestics and was completely unaware of his crimes at the time of testing. He expired the same manner as the other 9 test subjects. At this time it is unknown if SCP-1495-M1 itself is sentient or sapient, but it appears to possess the ability to identify those guilty of various crimes, such as murder and sexual assault. Testing is pending for effects on various types of crimes to determine if there is a criminal threshold for whom SCP-1495-M1 kills. Note from 05. Such testing will be very difficult, as we have a finite number of D-class personnel who are not murderers or rapists. Addendum 1495-A4. Interview logged with SCP-1495-5. Interviewed, SCP-1495-5. Interviewer, Dr. Ladd. Forward, after Dr. Ladd's communication techniques with the females of the SCP-1495 herd were deemed suitably successful. Site Command requested he conduct an interview with the oldest female to gain further insight into the nature, capabilities, and motives of SCP-1495. SCP-1495-5 has a 2,000-word English vocabulary and a rudimentary grasp of spelling. Responses were written by SCP-1495-5 with her trunk on a large chalkboard. Note: Dr. Ladd addresses SCP-1495-5 as Panka, the Hindi word for 5. This is the name used by the daily handlers. The handlers assigned unique names for the sake of communication with individual subjects. Begin log. Doctor. Lad. Good morning Panka. SCP-1495-5. Hi lad. Doctor. Lad. Panka. I will be asking you questions. Answer them as best you can. Do you understand? SCP-1495-5 nods yes. Doctor. Lad. Thank you. Panka. Can you talk to other animals besides people? SCP-1495-5. Not me. Doctor. Lad. Another one? SCP-1495-5 nods yes. Doctor. Lad. Is it the males? SCP-1495-5 gestures to indicate that she does not understand. Doctor. Lad. Is it Balthazar, Melchior, or Gaspar? Note. The handlers' names for SCP-1495-2, -3, and -4. SCP-1495-5 nods yes. Doctor. Lad. Balthazar, Melchior, and Gaspar can talk to other animals? SCP-1495-5 nods yes. Doctor. Lad. Panka. What do Balthazar, Melchior, and Gaspar tell the animals to do? SCP-1495-5. Good. Doctor. Lad. Do they ever tell the animals to kill people? SCP-1495-5 nods yes. Doctor. Lad. Who do Balthazar, Melchior, or Gaspar want to kill? SCP-1495-5. No want. Doctor. Lad. Who do Balthazar, Melchior, or Gaspar tell the animals to kill? SCP-1495-5. With Papa. Note. Papa is not a word that has been taught to any of SCP-1495. Doctor. Lad. With Father? SCP-1495-5. No with Papa. Doctor. Lad. Panka. Why do they tell the animals to kill? SCP-1495-5. Balance note. Most likely balance. Doctor. Lad. Balance? SCP-1495-5 nods yes. Doctor. Lad. Panka. What is Papa? SCP-1495-5. Bad. Doctor. Lad. Papa is bad? No response. Doctor. Lad. Panka. Tell me about Papa. SCP-1495-5. No more lad. SCP-1495-5 places the chalk at the feet of Dr. Lad and walks out of the enclosure. End log. Closing statement. It was later determined that Papa may have been meant to be the Hindi word Papa, which roughly translates as sin or misdeed.